Hello guys, welcome back to our anime moment. Guys, please like the video and subscribe to my channel. Today is explanation of Renegade Immortal episode number 360 based on novel. So let's start. Wang Lin grabbed the 7-colored nail and rapidly retreated with the help of the impact. He fell to the bottom of the mountain. The 3 eagle beasts roared as they chase. They were like 3 rays of black light. Wang Lin didn't hesitate to rush into the tunnel. He endured the intense pain from his body and charged ahead. The eagle beasts' roars echoed in Wang Lin's ears, but they didn't enter the tunnel. They circled outside the tunnel with ferocious gazes. After a long time, they slowly returned to the top of the mountain and turned into fog once more. Wang Lin found a hidden place in the tunnel and sat down. After placing a large amount of restrictions, he took out pills. He swallowed them and then began to cultivate. His body had been seriously injured, but the ancient god body not only had power, it also unimaginable recovery. After several hours, his injuries were healing. However, Wang Lin didn't leave. He sat there and continued to cycle the ancient god energy to every part of the body. While he was healing, his origin energy was rapidly moving through his body. Without the 7-colored nail, there was nothing stopping Wang Lin from recovering. Time quickly passed, and in the blink of an eye, 2 more days went by. Wang Lin opened his eyes, and they shined like lightning in the dark tunnel. He stood up and moved his body. All his injuries had almost healed. His origin soul was no longer weakened and the origin energy in his body had all recovered over the past 2 days of cultivating. He had reached his peak once more. Even if Master Ashenpine wasn't injured, he could battle Master Ashenpine again. In a flash, Wang Lin charged out through the passage and appeared in the valley. He took a deep breath and thought of the dangers he had just faced. Wang Lin waved his right hand and the 7-colored nail appeared in his palm. He still had lingering fear towards this nail. He was lucky that he had the body of an ancient god, which prevented the nail from making his bone become 7-colored instantly. This helped delay the madness, or else the consequences would have been unimaginable. It was also thanks to his ancient god body that he could suffer serious injuries to borrow outside force to force the nail out. If it was any other cultivator, they wouldn't be able to do this. Even if they were late-stage Nirvana Shatra cultivators, without the body of an ancient god, they would still die to this 7-colored nail. This item is definitely not ordinary. Not only did it break the iron sword, it also pierced my body. I fear if not for the iron sword blocking it a bit, it would have directly penetrated my bones and turned them into 7-colored light in an instant. Wang Lin stared at the 7-colored nail in his hand. His divine sense spread out and he left his own mark on it. Although I lost the iron sword, I have obtained this even more aggressive 7-colored nail. This will become my ace in the future. With this, even late-stage Nirvana Shatra cultivators will die. While pondering, Wang Lin's right hand reached at the void, took out Pang Datsai's ring, and placed it on his left thumb. The defense of this treasure was excellent, and it could be considered good protection here. Then he took out something else. It was the short sword that was stabbed into the beast bone in that cave. Unfortunately, he couldn't open the seal on it right now, so he put it away after looking at it. The last thing he took out was the little nascent soul that belonged to Master Ashenpine. It had become weak, but it still had a ferocious expression and roared at Wang Lin. This thing is interesting. Wang Lin spat out a mouthful of origin energy and surrounded it with it. Then he swallowed it and left it to refine in his origin soul. This thing seemed like a nascent soul but also like a treasure. It was really strange. Although Wang Lin didn't know where it came from, it didn't hinder him from refining it. He was going to refine it with his origin soul and wipe off Master Ashenpine's mark. Then it would belong to Wang Lin, and he could study it at that time. Although both Master Ashenpine and I ended up seriously injured and I suffered heavy losses, I also gained a lot. The jade bottle with the black liquid, the 7-colored nail, the blood nascent soul, and the crystal sword. Wang Lin waved his hand and the trident appeared in his grasp. He shook it and a small, crystal sword flew out. When he grabbed the sword, the aura of an pseudo-nirvana void treasure appeared. Although it couldn't match the iron sword, its power wasn't ordinary. After sorting his treasures, Wang Lin's eyes lit up. From all the treasures Master Ashenpine had, it wasn't difficult for Wang Lin to guess that this seven-colored realm had a lot of treasures. Most of Master Ashenpine's treasures must have come from here, especially those beads that could summon spells. This is a treasure trove. If Master Ashenpine can obtain treasures, so can I. The battle in the future will depend on who can obtain the stronger treasures and pills to increase our cultivation levels. Wang Lin licked his lips and charged into the valley ahead. This first goal was Sima Mo's cave from Pang Datsai's memories. In Pang Datsai's memories, after they found Sima Mo's cave, they didn't open it completely and instead just opened a part of it. This time they were prepared to obtain the soul beasts and refine them into pills. Once their cultivation levels increased, they were going to break open Sima Mo's cave completely. A cave that hasn't been completely opened and is still intact. Wang Lin quickly moved based on Pang Datsai's memories. He quickly moved through the valley, but he didn't trigger a single restriction. This place was extremely vast, and the valley was filled with restrictions. Most of the restrictions had collapsed, and even if the valley had any caves, they were empty. After one day, Wang Lin stopped outside a valley. This valley was very ordinary, but when he closed his eyes, he felt a gloomy intent enter his mind. The valley was filled with weeds and there were signs of restrictions being destroyed. This was the location of Sima Mo's cave from Pang Datsai's memories. After carefully observing this place, Wang Lin walked forward. When he got near the entrance to the valley, he stopped and deduction filled his eyes. A moment later, his right hand formed a seal and shot out a restriction ahead. In an instant, the valley trembled as if a picture was torn apart before Wang Lin and blown away. Things changed before him. The originally ordinary-looking valley beamed purple and the weeds on the ground were replaced by black soil, even the entrance was different. A black light prevented people from moving forward. There were 2 layers of restrictions on this valley. The first layer was an illusion. No matter how hard one tried, they would ultimately never be able to enter the cave inside. What Pang Datsai and company were cracking was the first layer. However, in Wang Lin's eyes, with his understanding of restrictions, he immediately saw through it. He raised his hand to make the second layer appear and revealed the true appearance of this cave. Staring at the black light, Wang Lin revealed a wry smile. This black light was the same as the one protecting the place where Master Ashenpine went to get the bottle. Both were time restrictions. He placed his right hand on the light and pondered for a bit. With his understanding of restrictions, he could calculate that this restriction was nearly 20,000 years old. Although it couldn't compare to the one around the jade bottle, it would still be difficult to crack unless he was willing to sacrifice treasures and open it by force. Looking at the black light, Wang Lin began to ponder. Shortly after, his eyes lit up and his right hand moved. A jade immediately appeared in his hand. This was the jade he got on the wild continent that belonged to Sima Mo. I obtained Sima Mo's relics on the wild continent, and here I see Sima Mo's cave. Interesting, Wang Lin's expression didn't reveal joy or anger. Holding the jade, he slowly pushed it toward the black light. At this moment, the light violently fluctuated and countless ripples appeared on it. Eventually, the light gathered toward the jade in Wang Lin's hand. Then, with a bang, the black light that couldn't be opened began to dissipate with the jade as the center, and a passage opened up. Wang Lin's eyes lit up and he pondered a bit. He then stepped into the opening, and after he entered, the crack closed. Then the ripples dissipated and everything returned to normal. An illusion appeared over it once more. The purple valley returned to normal and the black soil once again was covered in weeds. Everything returned back to how it was before Wang Lin arrived. After passing through the black light, what appeared before Wang Lin was a green, grassy valley. This valley wasn't big, only about 1,000 feet wide. There were 9 caves on the mountains surrounding the valley, and each one of them was sealed with a rock. There was a skeleton in the meadow in the valley. It was sitting on the ground, leaning against the wall of the valley in front of Wang Lin. Its head was lowered and its right forefinger was pointing at the ground. There were 3 jades placed before his body. Wang Lin silently looked at the skeleton and his pupils shrank. The skeleton's bones gave off a faint, 7-colored light glow. He slowly walked up to the skeleton before squatting down and carefully examining it. Then he picked up the first jade and his divine sense entered it. I didn't think I'd return here. Back then, my Uncle Master and I and many of my fellow sect members found that mysterious spatial crack according to his request. This crack was very strange, but it was filled with 7-colored light. It was very beautiful. Junior sister was very fond of this 7-colored, and I promised her I'd take the 7-color light back for her. We entered the crack and entered this horrible nightmare. It was just that back then, I didn't foresee any of this. We entered the deepest part of this place and found a terrifying existence. This secret could shock the entire cultivation world. Not just my cloud sea, but also all heaven, summoned river, and brilliant void. However, it was too late. We destroyed our hope with our own hands. We are sinners. Teacher kicked us out of the sect. I know he had no other choice. I left with my sect members and became lost in the fog of the cloud sea. Looking at the fog, I felt fear, because of that secret. I didn't expect that immeasurable calamity would return in our moment of despair. We escaped once only to return here. Perhaps I won't be able to leave this place again. Is this fair? I believe in fate, and I gave in to fate. Wang Lin held the jade and his divine sense carefully swept past it. It has been 3 years. Second brother is dead and third brother is also dead. They became lost ones and wandered here. I saw them 4 days ago, but they no longer recognize me and just walked past me. I can't let things continue, I must find a way. This is the 6th year since I came here, and I found a jade. It contains a restriction called time restriction. I must learn it. Uncle Master left. He went into the depths of this place. He told me a voice had called him. This is the 11th year since I came here. I managed to grasp a bit of the time restriction. How much time has passed? It must have been at least 30 years. The enlightened ones attacked once more, and I clearly saw Uncle Master among them. They took away 5th brother and 6th brother. I have finally mastered the time restriction. I and the remnants of my sect set a giant time restriction in An Valley. 9th brother sacrificed his life to reinforce the time of this restriction. Before he died, he made me promise him that I would take his remains back to the heaven-breaking sect. I promised, but can I do it? The time restriction has protected the valley, and the valley has become my home. However, I didn't find the warmth of home. I only saw familiar faces gradually become unfamiliar. I can't continue like this. I must find a way. I'm going to save them. Wang Lin silently pondered as he looked at the skeleton before him. The contents of the jade ended. He looked at the second jade and picked it up. His divine sense entered it. It has been 100 years. There is no night or day, so I can't accurately calculate the time here. However, by judging the power of the time restriction, it should have been 100 years. Just why do I feel like 1,000 years have passed? 13th brother destroyed his own body and died. He couldn't bear this kind of existence any longer. The people around me have become lost ones or enlightened ones. Only me, 16th brother, and 4th uncle remain. I know we are sinners, and perhaps this is our punishment. However, I'm unwilling to yield. I won't yield. Today is a day I will never forget. It has been more than 130 years since I came here, and this was the first time the defying ones appeared. 4th uncle turned into a defying one. They are all gone. Only 16th brother and I remain. However, I thought of a method to save them. I must try, even if it means death. I said goodbye to 16th brother and left the valley. I brought back 2nd brother and 3rd brother, along with everyone else that became lost ones. I entered the depths of the mountain and found 5th brother and 6th brother, who became enlightened ones, and brought them back. I then went into the depths of this place. I was very familiar with the path there. I found 2nd uncle and brought him back. The jade ended here. Wang Lin stared at the jade as he put it down. He pondered about the contents for a long time and then picked up the 3rd jade. I have already been here for more than 300 years and have gone to all the places I can go. I found a bead that could seal the spells of defying ones. I don't know what they are exactly, but in order to save fourth uncle, I searched a majority of the places and found a few more beads. That was the fourth time I went into the depths of this place. I knew that it was here that fourth uncle faced those powerful defying ones. I used the beads to seal all their spells. I searched for a few years before I finally found fourth uncle. It's just, I didn't expect him to be there, so I failed. A 7-colored nail pierced into my body. This nail was very strange, it immediately melted inside my body. I finally escaped and returned to the valley in a blur. My consciousness gradually faded and an insane idea kept appearing in my mind. This insane idea wanted me to kill all living creatures I could see. It's just that the only other living thing here besides me was 16th brother. I drove 16th brother out of the valley. I gave my identity token and beast bone to him. I made him leave the valley and told him to come back in 10 years. 16th brother left. I sat in the valley, looking up at the 7-colored sky, waiting for the final madness to come. Second brother, third brother, and all my fellow sect members, if any of you awaken and see my jades, you will know what happened in those hundreds of years. Also, I have collected a lot of those strange beads. I vaguely found some clues about them. These stone beads are not natural, they were refined by someone. There was no difference between their size, weight, or surface. It is as if someone came here and used a special spell to make these beads a long time ago. My consciousness became blurred, but I had a feeling something was pulling at my origin soul. I don't know why, but at that moment, my consciousness became clear and a crazy idea emerged in my head. Maybe I should do it. If I succeed, I won't go crazy. I will be reborn. My consciousness seemed to leave my body and extended into the starry sky. I saw a person. A middle-aged man in a black robe with a round mark between his eyebrows. He said that his name was Sovereign. Wang Lin's face turned pale and he sucked in a breath of cold air. He subconsciously took a few steps back and stared at the jade in his hand and the skeleton. His eyes were filled with disbelief. Sovereign, Wang Lin wasn't unfamiliar with this name. In Qing Lin's cave, he learned that outside the sealed realm, there was a powerful existence called the Sovereign. However, at that moment, the Sovereign was a far-away existence, a powerhouse from Qing Lin's era. A long time had passed since then. However, Wang Lin didn't expect to find a jade with information about the Sovereign in the Cloud Sea star system, in this 7-colored world, in this valley. Wang Lin closed his eyes and couldn't help but think back to when Qing Shui was battling the Moongazer serpent. He had collapsed the void, resulting in those two mysterious cultivators showing up. Those two people were residents of the outer realm. If not for the heaven-defying bead appearing, he would have been captured by them. Back when the old man saw the heaven-defying bead, he called me the Sovereign of the sealed realm. Wang Lin opened his eyes and let out a deep breath. His mind was like the raging sea after learning of the information inside the jade. He couldn't calm down for a long time. This 7-colored realm is related to the All-Seer and also the Sovereign. Especially these 7-colored nails that can make one go crazy and kill all living things. Senior brother Qing Shui said that before the celestial realm collapsed, he was in closed-door cultivation when he suddenly went mad. Even he himself doesn't know why. All of this was related to going mad. Also, the old Vermilion Bird Divine Emperor said that after senior brother Qing Shui went to the Cultivation Alliance, he went crazy again. What kind of secret is behind all of this? It must be related to that Sovereign. All-Seer, Qing Shui, Sima Mo, Sovereign, Wang Lin silently pondered. After a long time, he let out a sigh and looked at Sima Mo's skeleton with a complicated expression. There was no trace of destruction around Sima Mo, meaning he didn't go crazy in the end. Since he didn't go crazy, then that idea related to the Sovereign had succeeded. I didn't think this would be the spatial crack that the heaven-breaking sect found back then. It is also where the beast bone pill recipe appeared. However, how did the beast bone and jade leave this place? Could it be that the 16th brother somehow left this place, causing the jade and beast bone to appear in the cloud sea once more. Then there is the person that was mentioned in the jade. Who is he? According to Simon Mo, the heaven-breaking sect didn't know of this place back then. They came here because of that person's words? And hundreds of years later, Simon Mo unexpectedly saw that mysterious person again. Wang Lin rubbed his temples. The more he learned, the more confused he became. He raised his head and looked at the 9 caves sealed by rocks. Wang Lin arrived next to the first cave and looked at the rock. His eyes lit up and looked at it for a very long time before he placed his right hand on it. His origin energy gently entered the rock. The rock made a rumbling sound as it was moved to the side. The moment the cave was open, the smell, time and decay flew out. This cave was very small, only 100 feet wide. There was a grey light, and 10 beads the size of a baby's fist floated inside the light. Every single bead contained a faint rune and was flashing. However, they were giving off a grey light that was hard to see. If you weren't careful, it was easy to miss. After seeing the beads, Wang Lin's mind trembled. He immediately recognized them as what Master Ashen Pine had used to summon the spells of the Defying Ones. The contents of the jades are indeed true. Wang Lin's eyes lit up as his right hand reached out and one of the beads flew into his grasp. His divine sense spread out and he carefully observed it. Wang Lin's expression changed greatly. It was as if countless bolts of thunder had exploded in his mind. When Master Ashen Pine took out the beads, he was very fast and it was inconvenient for Wang Lin to try to get a closer look, because it would distract him from the battle. Wang Lin had only taken a glance and didn't get a closer look, but now he could clearly examine them. Heaven-defying bead. 1. I previous translated the name to Supreme but found Sovereign much better fit after talking with people. Wang Lin's origin soul trembled as he stared at the bead in his hand. The heaven-defying bead had accompanied him almost all his life, so he couldn't be wrong. Regardless of the size, weight, and even aura, this was exactly the same as the heaven-defying bead. The only difference was that the bead didn't have the 5 elements pattern, only a faint, blurred pattern. I have collected a lot of those strange beads. These stone beads are not natural, they were refined by someone. There was no difference between their size, weight, or surface. It is as if someone came here and used a special spell to make these beads a long time ago. The information inside the jade echoed in Wang Lin's mind. His rough breathing gradually calmed down. These beads were made from trying to imitating the heaven-defying bead. Someone was here trying to produce the heaven-defying bead a long time ago. After a long time, Wang Lin suddenly opened his eyes. This person must have seen the heaven-defying bead or even had it in his possession to be able to make something so similar. Wang Lin touched the spot between his eyebrows and his eyes lit up. It must take great courage to want to refine the heaven-defying bead. Could this person also be the sovereign? Wang Lin's expression was gloomy. He had a feeling that he and the sovereign from the outer realm would cross paths in the near future. Perhaps. The people of the outer realm already know of my existence. After all, that old man from the outer realm didn't die. A chill crept up in Wang Lin's heart. After pondering for a long time, Wang Lin waved his sleeves and collected all 10 beads. He checked them and felt the fluctuations of a spell within each one. It seemed they all contained a spell inside. Their beads are all failures, or else they wouldn't be randomly discarded here. For some reason, these failed beads conceal spells. Wang Lin pondered as he left his own mark on the beads and put them in his storage space. His gaze swept through the first cave. After finding nothing more, he walked out. Entering and exiting the cave made Wang Lin feel a mountain of pressure descend on him, and his expression became extremely gloomy. In particular, he thought of his previous battle with Master Ashen Pine. The spell he had used to summon the 7th spirit of the realm was very similar to the spell the outsiders used. What is the identity of this Master Ashen Pine? Wang Lin walked away from the cave and looked up at the 7-colored sky outside. He remembered that back in the void, where he first encountered the people from the outer realm, there was also 7-colored light coming from the outer realm. The more he came in contact with and understood this place, the more confused he felt about it. He silently withdrew his gaze and arrived at the second cave. He waves his sleeve, causing the rock to move, and exposed the inside of the cave. A giant pill furnace occupied more than half of the room, and it was surrounded by a large amount of herbs. However, they were mostly dried out, and there were storage bags laying around. It had been a very long time. The ground was covered in dust, and if you wiped the pill furnace, you would leave a mark in the dust. Opening the bags one by one, Wang Lin was moved. These bags were all filled with herbs, and the amount was unimaginable. After exiting the cave, Wang Lin walked toward the third cave. There were restrictions left on the door blocking the third cave, but they weren't a time restriction. After carefully examining them for a long time, Wang Lin's hands formed a seal and restrictions fell on the rock. Popping sounds echoed and the rock slowly moved to the side. In the third cave, there was a circular formation, and there were origin crystals on the edges that were keeping the formation active. There were 3 bottles floating in the formation. They seemed to be getting nourished by the origin crystals. Although the formation was still active, a lot of the origin crystals had been dried since a long time ago. There was barely enough to keep the formation active. After looking at the 3 bottles, Wang Lin walked forward and looked at the formation. He didn't act recklessly. This formation contained a hint of the time restriction. Although it was faint, it was enough to increase the power of this formation. More importantly, Wang Lin saw through the formation. The effect of the formation was to keep the pills at the moment of completion so they wouldn't be affected by the passage of time and to protect them. If they were opened by force, the pills inside would be immediately destroyed. Frowning, Wang Lin sat down. He hadn't even checked the rest of the cave when deduction shined in his eyes. The light in his eyes became bright and he lifted his hand to reach at the void. A piece of origin crystal flew out from his storage space. Holding the origin crystal, Wang Lin squeezed it and it collapsed. When the origin energy surged out, Wang Lin's hands formed a seal and he took full control of the origin energy. He then pointed at the edge of the formation and the origin energy surged into the ground. As Wang Lin waved his hand in the air, the origin energy formed a diamond formation on the ground. Then he waved his right hand, causing a thin line to extend from the diamond formation and connect with the formation inside the cave. After doing all of this, Wang Lin's eyes lit up and his hand quickly reached into the formation and tried to grab the 3 bottles. Just at this instant, the formation gave off a powerful light and lit up the whole room. A destructive aura appeared and was about to charge at the bottles. However, at this moment, the destructive aura paused. The powerful light seemed to be guided into the diamond formation by the thin line. During this pause, Wang Lin grabbed the 3 bottles and withdrew his hand. He retreated and left the cave in the blink of an eye. He appeared on the grass and sat down. As Wang Lin looked at the 3 bottles, his heart pounded. He had taken a big risk just then. If he had made the slightest mistake, the 3 bottles would have shattered. The pills inside would have been destroyed too. These pills were left here by Simon Mo and his sect. Being stored like this means they must be very valuable. Wang Lin licked his lips and opened the first bottle. A pill fragrance came from inside the bottle, and there were 3 red pills inside. A fierce fluctuation of beast soul came from them and filled the area. Even Wang Lin's origin soul was attracted. He pulled out 1 pill and held it between his fingers. He carefully examined it. Rank 11 pill? Wang Lin vaguely identified it. He pondered a bit before picking up the second bottle. The moment he opened the bottle, a large amount of fog came out. The fog was divided into 2 parts, black and white. They eventually split and floated into the air. There was a pill inside each of the 2 clouds of fog. A fog soul pill refined from a rank 12 fog beast. Wang Lin's eyes revealed ecstasy. He vaguely recognized the rank 11 pills, but this was an extremely rare pill refined from rank 12 fog beasts. These were very rare in the Cloud Sea, and they had a distinct characteristic that could be easily recognized. The reason the fog pill was so rare was because very few people were willing to give up the long-term benefits of a fog beast and use the fog beast they had captured to refine pills. Wang Lin licked his lips and his gaze fell on the last bottle. When his divine sense swept this bottle, he couldn't find any clues. After pondering a bit, he slowly pulled the cork from the bottle. The moment a small opening appeared, an unimaginable fluctuation rushed out like crazy. A fierce roar that couldn't be heard but was clearly felt by one's origin soul echoed. This roar was far stronger than a rank 12 beast and was earth-shattering. Wang Lin's body trembled and he didn't hesitate to reseal the bottle. All of this happened in a flash. After sealing the bottle, Wang Lin's face was pale. He cultivated for a moment and then looked at the bottle with a serious expression. Rank 13 pill. Wang Lin took a deep breath and carefully put away 2 of the bottles, leaving behind the first bottle. He picked it up and walked toward the cave with the furnace. Only after reaching the mid-stage of Nirvana Shatra could one devour a rank 11 pill, or else their origin soul couldn't combat the fierce beast soul. The result would only be having one's origin soul devoured by the beast soul. This was something every cultivator in the Cloud Sea knew. Although pills could help increase your cultivation level, you had to be extremely cautious. Wang Lin's actual cultivation level, ignoring his ancient god body, was only early-stage Nirvana Cleanser. He couldn't devour a rank 11 pill directly, so he needed to refine it again. In the cave with the pill furnace, Wang Lin pondered a bit and fire flashed in his left eye. Fire immediately appeared and rushed into the pill furnace. The furnace trembled and the markings on it slowly activated. Taking out a rank 11 pill, Wang Lin placed it inside the pill furnace. His right hand patted the void, causing the fire inside the furnace to surge and refine the pill. Two-time refining was an alchemy method that all Cloud Sea cultivators had to learn. This was a method of refining a higher-level pill to split its power. This method had a great relationship with the furnace. The better the furnace, the less effectiveness was lost. While Wang Lin was refining the pill, deep within the seven-colored realm, far beyond where Master Ashen Pine was, there was a place covered in fog that made it impossible to see anything. There was an altar here shrouded in fog. At this moment, a bright light flashed from the altar. The light penetrated the surrounding fog and pushed it back, revealing an empty area. A large crack silently appeared above the altar. Countless lightning bolts appeared along the edges of the crack, tearing it wider, and then 3 people walked out. These people's clothes were clearly different from what the people at the Cloud Sea wore. What was even more bizarre was that they all had a mark between their eyebrows. The man in front had a lightning bolt between his eyebrows. As for the 2 behind him, one youth had a crescent moon mark and the last one had a flame mark. This is the spatial crack you found. The youth with the crescent moon mark between his eyebrows looked around with excitement in his eyes. This video will end here.